Hey guys, this is Colin Dean with ThinkComputers. I'm going to check out here the Rosewill T600N wireless gigabit dual band router. It's a newer product from Rosewill. It's only been out for a couple of months. We saw it at CES and just knew that we had to give it a shot. Um, I've had it running now for a little bit more than an hour, or almost an hour and 45 minutes, as you can see here. Doing some benchmarking and just some general internet usage. See, its performance seems to be pretty good, but I'm going to show you around the control panel a little bit. Here you can see that this is the system page. It's kind of the default page for things. You can see that I have it on my internal network, and you can see its LAN settings, as well as the ability to check out its WLAN settings, which of course are the wireless settings. I have the security disabled for benchmarking, since that's how it comes out of the box. You can have up to 4 SSIDs per antenna, and I'll show you more about how that's configured later. We'll go over the system menu and click there so you can see this again. It shows that we're on the status page. You can go to the LAN status and be able to set some of the internal settings, such as the LAN IP, as well as what information is given out through DHCP. In the DHCP settings, you can see what devices are connected, the DHCP clients. You can see here these two are wireless clients, and this is a wired client. It gives out a expiration time of forever to wired clients. Schedule, so you can start and stop the wireless, as well as some other parts of it. Log, standard system log, as well as a pretty neat monitor so that you can see the bandwidth on the WAN and the WLAN. You can see a good bit of traffic going through right now. It refreshes the entire page every now and then. I think it's about every 10 seconds or so. I'm not going to take you through the wizard because I've already got it configured, but it's pretty much a standard wizard from what I went through earlier. There's our internet status, the ability to change how the host name and MAC address and DNS server is configured from the ISP. You can take your ISP settings, or you can set some of your own, as well as setting a static IP. And PPPoE, point-to-point over Ethernet. This one has the ability to tunnel everything over PopTop, which is kind of cool. I've considered setting up myself a PopTop server on another server that I have sitting on the internet, where it might be able to connect to this and get around some problems with YouTube that I've been having, as well as L2TP. Now we're breaking into the wireless settings. These are by and large the same for 2G and 5G, so I'm just going to kind of graze over these real quick. You can set, of course, what band you want to be on, and you can set the number of SSIDs that you want to enable, and whenever you do that, it, of course, expands that out accordingly. You can set it to automatically pick the best channel, or by default it comes on channel 11. Some advanced settings. The ability to set up security. You choose which SSID you want to enable, or which one you want to modify, and then you can change those, as well as changing which encryption. And it can do radius, which is great, as well as just standard pre-shared key type stuff. You can also do 802.1x authentication, which is nice for more advanced networks. Filtering based on wireless MAC address. This is your standard MAC filtering. WPS for easy setup, as well as a client list. I'm currently connected on its 5G, I believe. That's why you can't see anything connected there. As well as being able to set the policy. If you want to allow this SSID to be able to connect to the internet and connect to other other clients on the network. 5G is pretty much the same. You can choose which band you want to be on as well as what channel. Same there. Mostly the same. And these are pretty much the same. There you can see that I'm connected there. This is what it's saying. This is what SSID I'm connected to, and here's the MAC address. I kind of wish that it would show the reverse IP, maybe what host name the machine is at, but it's not. Policy's the same there too. Then we get into firewall stuff. Of course, it's enabled by default out of the box, as well as the various pass-throughs, and you can configure the DMZ. Use some firewall filter protection, filtering of ICMP requests and some other things that we don't really want to ever really respond to. As well as being able to do MAC filtering, IP filtering, and URL filtering in order to keep the kids out if you want them to be out. Of course, NAT is enabled by default. I haven't really tried the hardware accelerator. I might do some more benchmarking with that enable. Port mapping is off by default, of course, because there's no configuration, as well as port forwarding and port triggering. Application layer gateway stuff in case you want to mess with that. Keep in mind, this is kind of a big thing for some gamers out there, as well as Skype folks. UPnP is not enabled by default on this router, so you'll have to remember that if you're expecting a UPnP service such as BitTorrent or Skype or Bitcoin or something like that to work, then you'll have to enable it. One of the things that in looking through this and preparing for this this walkthrough that kind of frustrated me is that I can't set QoS myself. I'm forced to choose from these options, and my uplink is 65 megabit and my downlink is 150 megabit. So I can't use the QoS with this router or without sacrificing some pretty serious speed. That's just not cool. And then there's static routing. We get into the tools, and we're able to set what host address we want to be able to connect from, as well as changing the password. The time settings, by default, whenever the router starts up, it defaults to January 1st, 2011, and doesn't have any of this set. I kind of wish that they would have picked the time server out of the box, although given the debacle, I think it was with Linksys in like 2008 or 2009, where they shipped a product that was pointing at like one user's time server, and that was kind of a fun thing. Check that out if you can find it. Another thing that's kind of frustrating is that it doesn't let you do real daylight savings time. It doesn't use the daylight savings time package that's built into Linux. So you have to manually set it. So you can think there, oh crap, there's another clock that I'm going to have to change twice a year. Dynamic DNS, some pinging stuff. Firmware, I kind of wish that the firmware would have like an automatic check, or at least a link here that would allow you to go check to see if there's a firmware upgrade available, but they kind of leave you to do that by yourself. Factory backup, reset. Alright, factory default and backup. And reset. So there's a quick overview of the Rosewill T600N wireless router.